Hey guys, today I'm going to do an oil change on my Suzuki King Quad 750. First things first, I like to get all my equipment and tools laid out. So you can see I've got 10W40 oil for the oil change. You need roughly 2.4 quarts or 2.3 liters. I've got my manual showing you exactly the torque specs and how to do it. I have a Suzuki genuine filter. There's the part number if you're doing the same thing. I always replace a crush washer. It's an inexpensive part. It's not completely worn, you can reuse it, but I always change it out. Got an oil filter cup wrench, 68 mils by 14 flutes. I also like to use a torque wrench just because the drain nut is 15 foot-pounds of torque, and then the oil filter itself is 14.5. If you don't have a torque wrench for the oil filter, you snug it on tight until it just comes in contact with the gasket, and then it's 2 full turns. Another helpful thing to have out is gloves, plenty of rags, drain pan, and then just a 17 mil socket for the drain plug. I like to use an extension, and then just a ratchet driver. Another helpful thing is I usually use a measuring jug, so I get the precise oil, and then just an oil filter, or sorry, an oil funnel. And then, yeah, in order to remove the access, you will need some push pin pliers, or you can use a flathead screwdriver. I find push pin pliers just work the easiest and the quickest. You'll see them in use when I fly at her. Okay, let's get after it. Okay, first things I like to do, get some gloves on. Second is I just threw a oil pan under there already. And then yeah, you just need to remove this cover right here. It's got 3 push pins. These 2 are easy to get with some push pin pliers. The others you need to get out with a flathead screwdriver. And yeah, push pins just pull up. It just helps pop the middle out. I've already done the 3rd one with the flathead screwdriver already. Yeah, just those 3. Just slides out, slides into little tabs. You can see, here's the oil filler cap. That's where you'll fill it back up. It even tells you right on the housing there exactly. It takes 2,300 milliliters, or 2.4 US quarts, or 2 quarts of imperial measurement. Okay, next is to get underneath here. See, I already got that drain pan out. And then right in the center, right above me right there, is a 17 mil nut for the drain plug. I can't get my camera in there, so I'm just going to throw a nut on there, and or a socket on there, and start draining it. This is when those rags come in handy. So as it's draining, you can just loosen this cap off, let a little more airflow, drains a little quicker. Here's the drain plug. Focus for a second. You can see the crush washer on there. I'm going to remove that and replace it with a fresh one. You can inspect it. If it looks like it's in good shape, you can usually reuse them, but it's a very inexpensive part, and I don't want to risk getting a leak. So once it's fully drained, I'll replace the drain plug, and then I will change out the oil filter. Okay, now that all the oil is drained out, it's time to reinstall the drain plug. Don't forget, new crush washer if you're putting one on. One other thing is, because it's a short bolt, I tend to use a 17 mil regular socket, and then I put a nut inside just to keep it up, so that when you thread it in, you can thread it in by hand to get it started so you don't strip it, and then tighten it from there. Okay, now to change the oil filter. It's just located on the left side here, is for easy access. I have removed the dust cover with just a single push pin. You don't need to, you can get access to it. I just did it because it's easier for filming. But the oil filter itself is just right in there. Unscrew it, put the new one on, torque it down to 14.5 foot-pounds of torque, or 2 rotations once the gasket makes contact. And yeah, get the tripod set up and show you guys how it's done. I usually put a couple rags underneath just to soak up any oil that drains out of the filter. Just torque down to 14.5, which should be 2 rotations. Last things that's left to do is just fill her up with some new oil. So I've already got it pre-measured to 2.4 US quarts. Once that's done, reinstall the cap, turn it on, run it for 3 to 5 minutes, And then when you do check it, you want to be in between the hash marks, no lower than that, no higher than the top. But full is at the top, so run it for 3 to 5 minutes, fill her up. Let's see if I can get it on focused. There's hash marks on there, and you just fill that up, and then that's it, you're done, man. Oil change is good to go. Time for a beer.